At the moment, the Supreme Court is divided between conservatives and liberals, with 4 fairly strong conservatives and 4 reasonably strong liberals, and 1 person who's pretty conservative in the middle. If Elena Kegan's confirmed as a Supreme Court justice, as is extremely likely, she'll be replacing one of the liberals, and so it's not going to change the composition of the court very much in the short run. She's 50 years old, and she's going to be there for quite a while, and so over time, she's likely to be a reasonably strong voice for a liberal vision of the Constitution. I don't think it's going to matter that she's not been a judge. I know her. She was dean at Harvard when I arrived there. She's very smart. And to the extent that there are legal issues that she's not been exposed to, as there inevitably will be, she'll pick up on them pretty fast. The qualities you need to be a justice of the Supreme Court are things like good judgment and intelligence and sensitivity to the way the law actually operates. And you can get that in lots of different kinds of experiences beyond being a judge. People who have just been lawyers and judges may not have a good grasp of the way the political system operates. Historically, there have been people on the court who were senators or representatives or governors, and I think they provided a perspective on the court's work that we haven't had for a while, and that it would be good to get again. The question sort of comes from a perspective that the people who use the courts are liberals and on the left of the spectrum. But there's a very active Christian right movement in the United States which is interested in using the courts either to protect themselves against what they regard as discrimination or to advance an affirmative agenda. The former, the protection against discrimination, is much more likely to be successful than using the courts to push the policy proposals advocated by the Christian right. We are going to eventually have some sort of comprehensive legislation dealing with immigration and border control. It will almost certainly be more welcoming of people who are already in the country than Arizona's statute is. And there will be attempts to enforce border control much more effectively than we have in the past. Given the size of the border, it's not clear to me that those efforts will be successful. Historically and today, judicial review is more effective in protecting the rights of the privileged than in advancing the rights of the underprivileged. Earlier this year, we had a decision that enhanced the ability of corporations to affect political campaigns, and that's sort of the direction that judicial review has taken. We had a moment, a 20-year period from the mid-1950s to the mid-1970s, where the court was a liberal court, but that's uncharacteristic. And I think there's structural reasons why the courts tend to be conservative. The more principled reason, if you're not a liberal, then what I've just said wouldn't count. The more principled reason is that judicial review is inevitably in tension with the ability of the people to govern ourselves. It comes in and says, here are some things that you thought were good policies, that you thought were constitutionally permissible policies, We think that they're impermissible policies, and what we say, we the judges say, is the last word on the subject. And I think that's a bad thing for democracy.